I'm André Chambers. I'm 58 years old from Palm Springs, California. I've always had an affinity for water. There is something about that just calms me. My favorite cartoon character when I was a kid was Aquaman. This comes forward and me being, my authentic self, and I just sort of melded into this Merman, Aquaman. It's an extension of who I am. That's my superhero. Is that Aquaman, Neptune, Poseidon, Triton. It's all me, and that's just me. Water calms me. And I think, I don't know, it's just a part of me that just suddenly decided to show itself. I grew up in Oxnard, California. I had a lot of good friends. I grew up on the beach. We were the only blacks in our neighborhood. We had neighbors that were racist. One of our neighbors had an above-ground pool and refused to allow me in their pool because I would leave a dirt ring in their pool. We lived in Oregon. Once again, I was the only black kid in the entire school. I was teased and taunted, called nigger repeatedly. At one point, I came home from school and explained to my mom that I got to play with the big kids. She said, "Great, how did you do that?" I said, "I let them call me nigger." She quickly explained in a very stern way that that's not acceptable to call anyone a name, period. She explained the severity of the situation, and from her reaction, I realized that was really a bad thing. That should never, ever happen. And since then, I have never, ever used the word except for in this context here. At the age of 5, I had a crush on one of my mom's best friends. The things I liked about him were he was tall. He had dark hair, blue eyes, incredibly hairy. Posed for Playgirl, and I wanted nothing more than to see that Playgirl. LGBTQ didn't even exist in my world. I felt that being closeted was not allowing me to be who I was, period. Who I was as an artist. I felt that I was not allowed to express my creative side. I felt that I was not able to express anything other than masculinity. I was not accepted. I knew that I didn't fit in. I already knew from high school that I didn't fit in with people. I knew that there was something different about me. I sensed that I must be gay. The leather community is quite unique. That's who brought me out. That's where I really began to grow. I had a couple of friends that were in the leather community, and they said, well, if you want to come out, we'll take you out. We'll show you. This is how you do things. This is what you wear. They took me under their wing. They mentored me. They taught me, which is what I needed my entire life. It was a family. And that is what I really needed, was a family that stood by me and accepted me for who I was and what I liked and what I did not like, without judgment. So I wanted to be a doctor from a very, very, very early age. I wanted to become an emergency room nurse. I've been doing that for 20 years. I had the opportunity to learn a lot of things I never would have known. Everything that we do in our lives is relative to us. I had a gentleman come in who was in a wheelchair, paralyzed from a gunshot wound. And it was pouring down rain outside. I told him to clean up, got him some hot water, got him some clothes, took care of him. I said, you're not going back out there in that rain until I get you dry, get you all taken care of. And I'm taken care of. He looked at me and he said, you've been really cool to me. I really appreciate you. What's your address? I want to send you something. And I said, well, we're not allowed to accept gifts, and I can't. We aren't allowed to give out our addresses either. But what I want you to do is I want you to pay it forward. Go home, work out a living arrangement with your brother, and I want you to just kind of get back on the straight and narrow. A year later, here's this guy in a wheelchair waving at me. And he says, you don't remember me. He said, but you helped me a while ago. And he said, you told me to work out an arrangement with my brother, and that's my brother you're helping right now. And this girl next to me, she's my wife. We just got married. That changed my day. I said something, and he took it to heart, and he came back and told me this, which was, really a very, very beautiful moment for me. And I carry that with me. In Los Angeles, the different leather bars will have a competition for a person to be the title holder for that bar. And when you're going on stage in a jockstrap, they're not looking at how good you look in the jockstrap. It's how comfortable you are in your own skin. I had been rejected for so long in my life. And I said, either this contest gives me value and I'll win, or I will lose and it will devalue me. And if I'm devalued, that means what everyone has said about me is true. And I had contemplated suicide. It was neck and neck between me and one other person. I knew I'd given it my all. Thought I stood a good chance at winning, and as I walked through the crowd, someone pulled me aside and said, you did an amazing job up there. You should be proud of yourself. It's a pity you can't win because you're black. Went on stage, prepared to lose and keep smiling, and it seemed like it took forever for them to announce the winner. And they said my name. And I didn't even know how to act. I was completely, for that moment in time, speechless. And in all this chaos, all that's going on, all that's happening, saying to myself, you've had it wrong all this time, and now you've got to deal with your demons. So I have. Growing up in a all-white neighborhood, being told you can't swim in a pool because you'll leave a ring in their pool. When people didn't accept me, I always put it back on me. That was because I was black. People don't like you because you're black. People don't like you because you don't look right. People don't like you because you don't speak right. People don't like you for whatever reason. It was always my fault. Maybe just doing things your own way, and don't try to be like other people so much. Just be yourself and let people accept you. And don't make excuses for them. Just either they accept you or they don't. People look at me and they will assume, and people will assume, well, you're a nurse, so you must have had this and this and this. It's like, I had an abusive childhood. I've been homeless. I've been poor. I've had to sell my body to be able to put food in my mouth. As much as I would like to forget all of that, I remember that it makes me who I am today. You got to accept yourself at some point. Got to believe in yourself at some point. It took me 50 years. I don't wish it happened sooner. I don't, because I wouldn't have what I have now. I wouldn't.